Hello YouTube! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another Starcraft 2 upload as part of my daily Blizzard upload schedule. This is a professional match between the Protoss player SoS in the top right here and the player Innovation. In the bottom left, he is the Terran. Now, both of these players are actually pretty good. Innovation is currently the GSL Season 3 League Champion, which is the Global StarCraft 2 League, which means he beat out hundreds of other Terran, Zerg, and Protoss players to win that honor. That is pretty impressive to me. And up in the top right, we have the Protoss player SoS, who is the current Intel Extreme Masters Season 8 World Champion. Again, beating out many other really great players to get that title. So this should be a pretty good PvT matchup. It is one that I admit I am not too familiar with, just because I play Zerg mostly, and Protoss and Terran are not the main races that I do. But what we've got here is a cross-spawn position, which means any rushing is going to be difficult for each player to do. Reapers will take a while to get up to the Protoss base. If the Protoss has some Oracles, which are a harassment unit that Protoss use, it's going to take a while to get down to the Terran base here. So it looks like both players are just opening up fairly standard. We have a gateway coming up for the Protoss. We have a barracks coming up for the Terran. Now you'll notice against Zerg it is important to wall off this ramp, just because Zerglings can come up and really wreck your day. But you will notice that neither of these players are walling off the ramp, because against Terran and Protoss they both have ranged units that can just sit at the bottom of the ramp here and kill off your buildings without being in too much danger. So you won't see very much walling off when you are playing against a non-Zerg race, which is obviously the case here. Let's see what comes out of this barracks first for Innovation, and it is a Reaper, so he is planning some harassment. He has it rallied all the way across the map to where Innovation is, right up to the mineral line, so he knows exactly where the Protoss player is. In response, the Protoss player is putting out a Zealot. Now, Zealots are ground attack units. They are melee, which means they have no range, and they're pretty slow, so they're difficult. If you're trying to use those to kill a Reaper, it's never ever going to happen, as long as the Reaper is controlled correctly. But here we have a Cybernetics core coming down for SoS, which means we're likely going to see a Stalker next. Stalkers are ranged units here. They cost 125 minerals and 50 gas, and they are fast and also ranged, which means they will do a much better job at taking out this Reaper than the Zealot could ever hope to do. So we have the expansion nexus going down for Protoss. We have an expansion command center going down for Innovation. The Reaper's scouting around, seeing if there's any hidden tech. But, oh, okay, so the Protoss did get out their Mothership Core, which is a flying unit. It has a repulsor cannon, which does 8 damage, and it fires fairly quickly. It is not fast enough to catch the Reaper, but as it is ranged, it can pretty much sit up here near the mineral line and keep these probes safe while they do their job of gathering minerals and gas. And we do have a Stalker coming out now to help further with any Reaper harassment. It looks like Innovation, though, is content just to go back home, just having scouted out the Protoss base and making sure there's no hidden Stargates or any other, maybe a Dark Shrine down at the bottom. That would be a surprise for the Terran to have to deal with. Meanwhile, back at home, Innovation is throwing down a reactor, which allows him to make 2 units at a time out of his barracks. So he has 2 Marines being built. He's making a tech lab, which will allow him access to higher tech units like Marauders and Ghosts, and making another barracks. So it looks like a 3 barracks opener for Terran. Not interested in making any heavy-duty units like tanks or Vikings. Looks like he's just interested in the pretty standard Marine Marauder composition. Now, Marauders are fantastic against anything, pretty much anything ground from the gateway that the Protoss is able to put out. It does fantastic against both Zealots and Stalkers. It has a really heavy-duty attack. That's what Marauders do. They also have an upgrade, which is concussive shells, and it allows them to slow down enemy units when they get hit by an attack from the Marauder. However, it looks like Innovation is not super interested in doing that, and instead choosing to get Stimpack, which is an upgrade that helps both Marines and Marauders. Now, what it does, Stimpack, it increases the attack rate. Where is it? The attack rate of both Marines and Marauders, and causes increased damage to anything they're attacking. But it does cause damage to the Marines and Marauders themselves. So they're sacrificing some health for increased damage output for a time. It is a really good upgrade. You'll never see a Terran leave home without it, unless they're doing a really fast rush that doesn't allow them to get stim pack, but any game that lasts longer than a few minutes, you're going to see it come into the game. Protoss has all 4 of their gas, which means we're going to see a pretty tech-heavy composition compared to what Terran is doing. In the back here, we have an engineering bay being built and another refinery, but we're leaving that final gas untaken. So it looks like just a mass marine attack, which I don't know how this is going to work out for innovation. Oh, there is a marauder coming out and another marauder, so... And it looks like it's going to be a timing attack, possibly waiting until a weapons upgrade or shield upgrade is finished before hitting the front door of SOS, but maybe not. Back home, the Protoss is getting a Dark Shrine, which allows him to make Dark Templar. Where are they on the list? Here they are. Dark Templar are permanently cloaked, which means they're invisible to any unit that can't see invisible units, and do a lot of damage in a melee fashion, but they are pretty squishy, so if you can see them, which a orbital command does reveal cloaked units, it is enough to take those Dark Templar out pretty quickly. Dark Shrine is finishing. We are making a couple observers. Now observers are permanently cloaked units as well, but they fly and they cannot attack anything. But they are great for scouting. They're one of the units that came over from Starcraft 1 to Starcraft 2. They just fly around, they have pretty good vision range, you can see this, and as long as there isn't a scan, the observer can do some pretty good scouting and see what's going on. And it looks like a scan there might have taken out an observer. The interesting thing about cloaked units is they are fairly visible. There's a shimmering, and you can take them out if you scan in the right place. Now, what we're doing here with these stalkers is we're taking down the missile turret because that can scan and reveal the presence of this observer. These stalkers also have the blink ability, which allows them to teleport to a nearby target location to get out of damage or to get closer to a unit to attack it once every 10 seconds. Now, a good Protoss player can use blink stalkers to their advantage very, very handily. They can blink up cliffs as long as they have vision, which is what this observer can provide. And they can blink back and back and back as you can choose to blink the wounded stalkers back and back and back, greatly improving the effectiveness of the army as well. So Dark Templar is up here trying to do some harassment. He might just go right... Oh, he chose to kill... I don't know about that. He turned around and hit a single Marine, did not kill it, but made his presence known if Innovation was paying attention and not choosing to kill a single supply depot. Usually what you'll see from Dark Templars is they'll get into the mineral line here and just try to kill as many workers as they can, but this guy seems content to take out supply. Very interesting. Looks like Innovation did rebuild the missile turret, so I think the Dark Templar is visible, and he is. He gets cleaned up. And here comes the Marine Marauder medevac attack. Again, medevacs are healing units. They work very well with the stim pack ability of Marines and Marauders. They heal up the damage that they take when they stim. There you go there. You'll notice all their health bars went to yellow. And they will slowly get back to green as these medevacs heal them up. And the increased damage output was enough to quickly kill that Nexus, even though the Nexus does have 1,000 shields and 1,000 health. So they can be tough to take down, but a Marine Marauder attack with Stimpack behind them and a +1 level upgrade for weapons is enough to take that out quickly. So now we have, in response, some Colossus from SOS. Colossus are great for killing ground units that don't have a lot of health, like those Marines and those Marauders. Though you do have to be careful that those Marauders don't stim, get that movement speed increase, run up, and just snipe those Colossus as quickly as they can, making the rest of the army for Terran that much more effective. So here's a Blink Stalker attack, meeting up with a small Marine Marauder medevac army. The Blink Stalkers decide to retreat. They do blink back out of combat, as you saw there. Another Dark Templar is running down across the map to Innovation's base. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing here. He's just checking for the presence of a third from the Terran player. Does get a free worker kill. Sees there's no base there and heads up into the main. Nope, gets scanned and taken out very quickly. So again, we have the Dark Templar are easy to take out if you see them, but if not, they're very powerful. Now, a two-prong attack is happening here from Innovation. He's moving up the right side to attack right into the main of SOS. Like I said, sniping off that Colossus with some Marauders. Here comes a second Colossus, and in the meantime, on the left side, we have another pincer attack taking out that third base yet again for SOS. And everybody is converging up here to the front door with a small base at the back door, forcing the Protoss to split up his army to perfectly match what's going on with the Terran army. Now we'll see if there's enough to hold this off. Zealots are not very good at attacking ranged units, obviously, but with the Zealot Legs upgrade, which is also called Jarge officially, they can get right up in there and rush up to the front of the lines to do their attacking. Zealots also have a lot of shields and a lot of health. They have armor +1, and they have quite a bit of HP and shields as well, so they can absorb a lot of damage from these shots before they die, making them effective meat shields for the units in the back that are actually doing the damage. Now, what is going on here with Protoss? He's kind of stuck at the ramp. The pincer attack is coming along, trying to snipe out that Colossus. Not quite able to get it, but it only has 4 HP. And in the meantime, the Innovation is doing his best stutter step tactics, just attacking, running back, slowly whittling down SOS's army, but not committing too much to where he is worried about losing all of his as well. So, pretty back and forth. At this point, Innovation has 136 supply to 107 for SOS, so he is in the lead. Income shows equal harvesters, and pretty equal income, about 1,400 minerals and 400 gas for each of those. And yes, the active forces, again, shows the lead for the Terrans. So, another Dark Templar running down. Not sure what his interest is other than scouting out this command center. He sees that there is a third one up, which is a concern. 3 base Terran is very much of a problem for Protoss to deal with. They just have a lot of cost-effective units that are fairly cheap they can get out. Marine Marauder Medevac is a solid composition throughout the entire game against Protoss. And on 3 bases, their income is enough to where they can just keep that going pretty much till the end of the game. But surprise, we have SOS coming up this ramp, knowing he has to take out that third or he's going to lose most likely. The Colossus are able to stay in the back with their +1 upgrade to the Thermal Lance, doing a lot of damage, a lot of AoE damage to these units that are split up fairly well. Is not able to kill everybody though, and these remaining Marauders run right up and snipe 2 Colossus. There is one left in the back, but he's alone, unsupported, and he likely will be destroyed as well. But instead, they let him go. Oh, and SOS gives out the good game and leaves. Now, again, I think it all came down to the fact that SOS knew with that third base that Innovation was going to be an unstoppable machine at that point. SOS himself was unable to get out his third base, and you'll notice that he was running out of minerals at his first and second base. He needed that income. He didn't see a way he was going to be able to get it, so he pushed out with what units he could and was unable to destroy that third, and knew in the end it was just going to be a slow death and chose to tap out. So, Game 1 of this series does go to Innovation. I have Games 2 and 3 I'm planning on casting later. If you liked what you saw, hit like on the YouTube video. You can also subscribe. You can like me on Facebook at facebook.com/FalconPaladin, and also Twitter, which is twitter.com/FalconPaladin. So until next time, this is Falcon Paladin. You take care of yourself.